Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a woman and thought, is she actually into me, or am I reading too much into it? You replay the moments, her glances, her laughter, the small things she said, and somehow you still can't figure it out. But here's what most men never understand. When a woman is truly crazy about you, she won't always tell you. She'll reveal it in ways so understated, so psychologically layered, that only a man who truly understands women will ever catch it. Before we get into this, make sure you hit subscribe and like this video because what I'm about to share will change the way you see women entirely. And trust me, once you recognize these two hidden signs, you'll never second guess female interest again. Now, here's the thing. Women are wired differently. They rarely express desire in a direct, logical way. It's emotional, instinctive, subconscious. She might not even be aware she's showing me signs, but her body, her tone, her attention, they all give her away. The first hidden sign that she's crazy about you isn't flirtation, it's emotional displacement. When she starts displaying unexpected emotion around you, irritation, jealousy, even sudden laughter, it's not because she's lost. It's because you're reaching her on a deeper level than she anticipated. Her emotions grow unpredictable because you've entered her emotional radar. She is no longer indifferent. You've awakened something genuine inside her. You'll pick up on it in the smallest shifts. Her pupils widen when you speak. She recalls things you never even realized you mentioned. She becomes strangely defensive if another woman appears nearby. That's not coincidence. That's her mind struggling to regain control of something she's beginning to lose emotional composure. You see, when a woman isn't interested, she remains calm, polite, perhaps even distant. But when she is crazy about you, that composure breaks. Her emotions surge. She'll show signs of tension, sometimes even irritation, because the feelings she's fighting are simply too overwhelming. She may not say a single word, but her energy around you shifts entirely. This is where most men misread women. They pursue the composed ones, thinking she's so easygoing, and completely overlook the ones who are quietly consumed. The truth is, if she feels a wave of emotion the moment you enter the room, she's already yours, even if she hasn't realized it herself. Here's the second sign, and this one will catch you off guard. Most men miss it completely because it's invisible on the surface. It's subtle behavioral mimicry. The way she unconsciously reflects your actions, your speech patterns, even your body language. And I'm not referring to something staged or intentional. I mean the kind of unconscious mirroring that happens when someone is deeply drawn to another person. Consider this. When a woman laughs just a beat after you do, or tilts her head the same way you do, or repeats expressions you commonly use, it isn't random. Her mind is literally synchronizing with yours. Her subconscious is whispering, I want to be like him. I want to belong with him. This is her psychological fingerprint of attraction, and it is far more truthful than anything she could ever put into words. You'll notice it in conversation, in small gestures. Maybe you lift your drink, and she does the same without thinking. Maybe you lean in while talking, and she mirrors the movement. Maybe she borrows your favorite phrases or picks up similar humor. These are unconscious, involuntary signals that your presence is reshaping her attention, her behavior, even her inner world. Here's why it's so striking. Women don't do this with every man. This is reserved for the ones who have captured their mind in a way that feels magnetic, irresistible, and honestly, a little unsettling to her. She's drawn to you in a way her brain cannot resist, and her body is announcing it to anyone paying close enough attention. The risk here is that most men either misread it or don't notice it at all. They think she's just mirroring me or it's a coincidence. But when you understand female psychology, you recognize the difference between mimicry and coincidence. Mimicry is precise, consistent, and emotionally charged. It surfaces in connection with her emotional peaks, like when she laughs at your jokes more than anyone else, or gently touches objects you've touched, or unconsciously matches your tone. When a woman does this, it isn't casual, it isn't a game. She's communicating without words that she is mentally and emotionally captivated by you. And once you see it, you'll spot it everywhere. Your friends won't catch it. She won't even realize she's doing it. But it is the clearest signal a woman is deeply drawn to you. Now let's talk about something most men completely overlook: how a woman tests you when she's genuinely into you. And I'm not referring to childish games or manipulative behavior. I'm talking about subtle, almost invisible psychological evaluations that expose your character, your confidence, and your emotional foundation. When a woman is crazy about you, she wants to observe how you handle pressure. She wants to know if you're steady, if you can hold your position, and if you can remain grounded while she unconsciously pushes against you. You'll notice it in small moments: a teasing comment aimed at your ego, a question designed to probe your history, or a situation that tests your patience. These aren't accidents, they're deliberate, subconscious assessments. Here's what most men miss: she isn't trying to wound you, she's trying to measure you. Her attraction isn't built solely on your charm or your appearance. It's about whether you can make her feel secure while still commanding her respect. If you fall short in these moments, her interest begins to fade. But if you rise to them, you become almost magnetically irresistible to her. You'll see this in exchanges that feel minor on the surface. Maybe she raises a controversial topic to see if you stay grounded under debate. Maybe she shares something personal to test whether you're trustworthy. Maybe she flirts in a way that leaves you uncertain just to measure your confidence. These moments seem small, but they carry enormous psychological weight. A woman who doesn't care about you will never test you. She has no reason to. But a woman who is emotionally invested, who is drawn to you on a deep, instinctive level, will unconsciously push these edges. It's her way of determining whether you're relationship material without ever stating it directly. Here's the truth most men never hear: these tests are not punishments, they are signals. They are markers of interest hiding in plain sight. When you learn to recognize them, you stop feeling frustrated, confused, or uncertain. You begin to see the intention behind the behavior, and you can respond in a way that deepens her attachment. If you can stay composed, confident, and emotionally steady while she tests you, you unlock a powerful truth. She isn't just attracted, she is captivated. And that is precisely what separates the men she thinks about constantly from the ones she forgets. Here's something most men walk right past, even when it's unfolding in front of them. A woman who is crazy about you will make you a priority in ways you may not immediately recognize. And I don't mean the obvious things, like telling you she's free or rearranging her schedule openly. I mean the quiet, nearly invisible ways she places you at the center of her life without saying a word. She begins showing up in your mental space, your routines, your thoughts. Without being prompted, she remembers the small things you enjoy, the details you mentioned in passing, even things you forgot you shared. She notices patterns in how you move through the world and adjusts herself accordingly. For example, she might quietly rearrange her time to be available for you, not as a favor, but because your presence carries more weight for her than she can put into words. Pay attention to how she reaches out. It's not just the frequency of her messages, but the meaning behind them. She contacts you in emotionally significant ways: unexpected texts, small, thoughtful gestures, genuine questions that show she's considering your feelings and your needs, even when it seems like nothing important. These are signs of profound attachment. She's mentally placing you above other distractions, consciously or not. You'll also see it in group settings. She may quietly highlight your strengths or make you feel valued in front of the people she cares about. Or she'll track your reactions during conversations with others, adjusting her tone, her focus, her energy to make sure you feel included and respected. These aren't calculated moves, they're instinctive expressions of deep feeling. Here's the psychological reality: women are wired to invest in men who make them feel safe, valued, and mentally alive. When she prioritizes you in these quiet ways, it's because she is emotionally committed. She wants you to be a central presence in her world without losing herself in the process. And the fact that she does this naturally is one of the most powerful indicators of genuine interest. Most men miss this because they're waiting for grand gestures or direct declarations. But attraction at this depth is quiet, internal, and constant. It's the invisible pull she creates around you. You may not feel it right away, but it shapes her choices, her focus, and her actions in ways that make your presence feel increasingly essential. Recognizing this matters. If a woman is quietly building her world around you, thinking of your comfort, your happiness, your reactions, that is not casual interest. She is emotionally captivated and entirely drawn to you. And once you see it, everything she does begins to make perfect sense. Now let's uncover something most men completely miss. When a woman is truly crazy about you, she tests your emotional loyalty in ways so subtle you may not realize it's happening. She isn't doing this to manipulate or hurt you. She's doing it because her subconscious mind is measuring whether you are safe, dependable, and worthy of her deeper trust. These tests are often invisible to the untrained eye. They surface in casual questions, lighthearted hypotheticals, or seemingly harmless comments designed to observe your emotional response. She might ask about past relationships in a way that feels offhand, but is actually measuring your honesty, your confidence, and your integrity. Or she might bring up other women, not to provoke jealousy, but to see whether you maintain calm, quiet assertiveness and emotional control. Notice what she's watching, your reactions, your tone, your composure. Every word, every small expression, every moment of silence is being read. She wants to see if you can stand firm without losing warmth, if you can be emotionally present without becoming reactive. This isn't about patience. It's about whether your emotional foundation can hold the weight of feelings she carries for you, which are deeper than you know. Another form of testing is quiet boundary exploration. She may press gently on your time, your attention, or your emotional edges to see how you respond. Does your confidence hold, or does it crack? Does frustration surface, or do you answer with steady reassurance? These moments are not accidental. They are unconscious, but they speak volumes about how drawn she is to you. Here's the essential truth. A woman who feels nothing for you will never invest energy in these quiet evaluations. She is emotionally absent. But a woman who is deeply invested is scanning your stability, your reliability, your loyalty, almost without realizing she's doing it. It's a hidden language of attraction that only a man who truly understands female psychology can interpret. When you begin recognizing these patterns, everything shifts. You stop overanalyzing her behavior or questioning her feelings. You understand that these tests aren't distance, they're evidence of obsession. They reveal her desire to know whether you're worthy of her mind, her heart, and eventually her complete trust. Passing them doesn't simply confirm her attraction, it amplifies it, building a magnetic pull that makes her more emotionally invested with every single interaction. Finally, let's uncover the last unmistakable sign that a woman is completely captivated by you. This one is clear. This one is powerful, yet so many men miss it entirely because it is never spoken. It's the way she quietly sacrifices her own comfort to be close to you, not through dramatic displays or expensive gestures, through the small, nearly invisible choices she makes that consistently place you at the center of her attention, often without her even being aware of it. You'll see it in everyday moments. Maybe she adjusts her schedule to match yours, sets aside plans she genuinely wanted to keep, or goes out of her way to make sure you're included in something meaningful to her. It isn't obligation, it's instinctive closeness. Her mind is wired to seek proximity to you, and these quiet sacrifices are proof of how strongly she feels. Even more revealing is the emotional investment she makes in your life. She holds on to the smallest details, The story you mentioned weeks ago, the thing that made you laugh once, the problem you never even asked for help with, and she quietly acts on them. She thinks about how you feel, anticipates your needs, and gently shapes her behavior to make you feel understood and seen. This is not performance. This is subconscious devotion. Watch how she moves in social spaces. Does she lift your name, defend you when you're not in the room, or quietly align herself with your values and perspective? These actions reveal that your presence matters more to her than anyone else's approval, more than comfort, more than routine. She is prioritizing you, both inwardly and outwardly. And that is a rare, unmistakable sign of genuine obsession. Here's the psychological truth most men never hear. Women rarely offer this level of attention, care, and quiet sacrifice unless they are emotionally hooked. When a woman is captivated, her mind and body continuously find ways to make your presence central. She doesn't need to announce it. It is written in her choices, her gestures, her attention. Recognizing this final signal completes the picture. Combined with emotional displacement, behavioral mimicry, testing, and prioritization, it reveals everything. She is not simply interested, she is profoundly, quietly obsessed. And once you see these signs with clarity, you no longer have to wonder about her feelings. You understand them deeply, intuitively, and without any doubt. This is the truth most men never reach, and once you grasp it, the way you perceive female attraction changes permanently. You stop doubting, stop chasing, and start reading the patterns that have always been there, quietly revealing her hidden obsession.